Holla. How's it going, man? Nick, how you doing? I thought you were a different Nick. Give it a couple more seconds. Let me get it fired up. You know, Vegas, I would argue that my hair looks nice every night. But in all reality, I got a haircut a couple weeks ago that was just a horror show. It's I thought it ruined my life. And yeah, I've bounced back, but you know, it takes time to heal wounds like that. And I've got a lot of scar tissue. If you will. Well, let's get started. We got 13. I don't want to see if anyone else joins, so I shut it down. Whoever joins, joins. I hope they get some value out of it. BCCI. Good God. I'm not in the I love stocks chat often because I'm kind of just freestyle. But those fills 0.015 to 0.07 in what? 9 days? Nuts. Crazy move. Why was it crazy? Why do you think it was crazy? I know why. Is it Maroon 5? Is it Super Bowl? A little bit. Yeah, Super Bowl hype, little bit. But most of all, share structure, share structure, share structure, share structure. You have 130 million shares outstanding, and you're doing 20 million plus a day. All those shares get blown away. They get locked up. Super Bowl hype can take you so far unless you have a massive share structure. But my original consideration, which by the way, I didn't stick with all the way, sadly. But the original consideration was, here we are 0.015 with 100, how much? let's just split the diffy because we don't know if this has been diluted yet. So let's say 115 million. I don't like that. 0.015 times 115, 123, 123 equals 1.7 million bucks, which seems like a lot. But then I saw it do, 200 grand in an instant. And now we're doing, on that first day, we did, $1 million bucks, and now we're pulling 1.3 million a day. I mean, it's just the amount of money it brings in is overwhelming the share structure. That's the big lesson. And that's the importance of dollar volume in relation to share structure and relation to catalyst. Catalyst can bring volume, but is it enough dollar volume to overcome the floating shares? That's the question. And that question was answered when we almost did the amount of money it took to turn the floating shares on the first day that they announced that Super Bowl news. And you can take this away and apply it to anything you trade. We look at all those tickers on the FinViz scanner. FinVuz. We look at all those tickers on the FinViz scanner. The baggy ones. Screener, my apologies. And you ask yourself, well, it's got a lot of volume. The news looks good. Why doesn't it move? Share structure. It's too fat. Alcoa is a great, it's a fine company, Alcoa. There's nothing wrong with Alcoa. But it's a pig. So what happens? It's just like if you're you're a 350 pound UFC fighter. And when you're standing up, boom, your hits are massive. Guys get knocked the F out. But when you fall over, it's tough to get up. It's tough to stand up. And that's what happens to a lot of these. Alcoa is a fine company. It fell over on a few pieces of bad news, and guess what? The amount of dollar volume and the amount of share volume that it took to get all the way here, the amount of buying that it took, one wrong thing, done. Doesn't matter how good the company is. It's too much. It's not that interesting. We know Alcoa. It's fine. I'm looking for upside. And that's really what share can. If you want to be a trader, if you want to be a trader and you're looking to trade and find upside, your job is share structure. And the fact that less people make it their job, that consider themselves traders or shot callers or room, all that shit, the fact that they don't consider it that much says a lot. I know Vegas considers it because Vegas calls them. She knows why they move. But when I started early on, what was I doing? DD. Well, the fundamentals are okay, and this seems pretty compelling. It has no volume at all, and a 1 billion share float, but it could be good. Could be good. But guess what? It ain't. No one cares. BCCI, realistically, this is a debt-laden weed coffee company that has been trying for ages to get people to pay attention to their weed coffee, and no one cared. You know, they had an NFL deal back in September, and it moved a bit, and then it kind of just fell off. Even though it was thin, I liked it back then, but it became a bag, so what am I going to do? And that Super Bowl action finally just took it over the edge. Awesome. But the whole formula, the ground you walk on, is share structure. If you want to trade. If you want to go long on things, the ground you walk on is balance sheet. I saw the people today, and this is good. I saw the people today in I Love Stocks, the ones that don't take this course, the ones that aren't in here. Manga killed me today. If you look at that balance sheet on Manga and are not surprised by the fact that they're going to dilute themselves into a reverse split again, you earned it. Because the only reason your stocks don't move is dilution. That's it. They would all go up forever, indefinitely, if they weren't being diluted. Because the supply of shares is finite. So even if it takes a year, it's going to get locked up eventually. And that's not how it works. Because if you told me a ticker right now, just said this is running, the first thing I do is look at the share structure. Then I go to the chart and go, Or I ask myself, you know what, I've got this much money in my account. Do I have time to wait 2 months for this to move 5%? Because it's such a pig. No. So any catalyst you see, any call out anyone makes to you, any influencer that reaches out to you and tells you about a great opportunity, you start with share structure. Now, a lot of things are thin. And I don't know if you've fallen into this trap. I used to. Because I was kind of closing in on this share structure realization. I was kind of closing in on it. And I was buying a bunch of things that were illiquid because they were thin on the share structure, believing that one day they would pop off. And I was holding a lot of bags. They looked great to me at the time. And I would walk around. They don't care about this. Don't they see how thin this is on the share structure? It would only take $5,000 to move it 100%. But they don't care. They don't know that. 99% of the people that slapped BCCI was because they were hearing Super Bowl. 1% bought it because it was thin in relation to Super Bowl. That's why tickers move. Share structure in relation to dollar volume. Right? $1 million to turn it over. Well, if it did 1.1 million today, they're pretty excited about that shit. So that's what it's all about. And on the site a friend of mine created, OTCRE, we actually built turnover right into it. You want to hover over a ticker. Keep in mind, these are all OTC. You want to hover over a ticker, you get turnover cost. So you can quickly decide, like BCCI, this is how it went down. They had news, Super Bowl. I looked at it, turnover cost $1 million. I say, well, it's already done almost $1 million on the day. It's not, and the day hasn't even barely started. I'll go for it. Turnover is a very important thing to keep an eye on. And we'll look at a lot of these tickers today. And how did everyone do today? You know, in contrast to past weeks, you know, we're at the end of our month here. A couple of y'all started late, so we'll deal with that. But how did you do this month, if you're new to this, compared to prior months? After watching me get aggravated on a video for 2 hours a week. How did we do? And tell me the truth if not. I want to know. Hey man, to be in it only for this long and be getting better, shoot. When I started, it was just loss after loss after loss, and I was too ignorant. Well, I wasn't too ignorant not to take a course, actually. I paid a bunch of people for courses, and they sucked. Ass. They just alerted me to their front-loaded trash, and I paid them for it. I was buying shares they bought with my money off the ask. I don't like. So if you're making progress that fast, boom, boom, boom. I love it. I love it a lot. That's why I do it. It ain't for the money. Okay. Let's continue. Look at our watch list. That's the lesson. Yeah, and that's the thing, Vegas, is we get in this place where we make a watch list, and God, people assume that's the buy list. We take 376 pages of tickers at 20 tickers a page. 7,520 tickers, and boil them down to 5 or 6 based on our criteria. You got to be in position to succeed. Will you succeed all the time? No. You build the watch list based on the principles, and you learn about the principles as you build the watch list. Is something going to jump up out of the ground and bite you and be the runner? For sure. But the process of creating these watch lists is not to tell you what to buy. It's to show you what is a good setup so you can get in position to make a hit. And many of them turn out to be, even if they're base hits, turn out to be base hits. But the purpose of doing this exercise over and over and over again is so you can hammer home what is a good setup. So when a setup comes across your desk, you know it's good. You want a front-loaded setup that people just that I just tell 1,000 people to buy all at once and run it 50% on the day only to make it a bag? Go talk to Tim Sykes. You want to leave chat rooms forever and trade in solace? Unfortunately, you got to do it the hard way. Nothing worth doing is easy. Can I make a list? Are there any other questions? Any other questions there? Good. I'll take that as a no other question. Let's move on and see what's popping and what looks good. And we're going to check the filings, and we're going to do the DD end to end. Target price. Current volume. See, relative volume's a thing where, maybe it got pumped or maybe whatever. But the current volume may provide things that are relatively new. Why do I go under $10? I don't care what the price per share is. Truth be told, I personally don't care about the price per share. But I'm trying to find opportunities that attract active traders. And active traders are attracted to low price per share. So that's kind of where I'm aiming the aperture, if you will. Exchange, I don't care about that. Performance, where is it? There's performance 2. Let's go back to the start. I always do it this way. Average volume any, industry any, sector, float short, relative volume. I don't care about that. Technical, performance, week. Let's just go month up. Look at how thin that got. If you get lost in the sea of tickers and you say, well, there's so many things and they're exploding all around me. How do I know what's good? Consider this. 7,500 tickers. And I only wanted tickers that were up on the month. And what did I get? 80. Sometimes people complain that I'm too picky, that being around me isn't as exciting. Oh shit, I was about to say 80 seemed low. 404. Still, out of the point still stands. Out of 7,500 tickers, 404 are up out of 7,500 with over 400K in volume, which isn't a lot. And that's why I get so picky, because there's just so many bags out there. And so sometimes, like, I will wait. Like, I'll try I'll try funny money trades here and there if I'm not 100% convinced. But for me to be really convinced, it takes a lot. So we got the month up. We got the volatility. Come on. Country, I don't care about that. Insider ownership. Float short. I mean, you could get into short squeezes and stuff if you wanted. But we need to get into share structure. So how do we do it now? We go up here to order. Shares float. Okie doke. Pran, nice job. That's the power of low floats. MTSL, awesome. Let's switch to charts and see what's new. Something suspicious there. We'll look at it. Nice. Nice. Slow, but nice. I'll look at that. I hate that usually, but I'll look at it. MBOT. Nice. Bag. Multiple bottom, yeah. Okay, I don't have to. Chinese pump, but you know what? Say what you want about Chinese pump. Pink. VTVT was quite a runner in October. I remember I thought it was spectacular. Yep. I hate box light, and I don't have to. This is bullshit. Bag. ONTX. Bag. So we got. But you know, when you get into these share structure calculations, all of a sudden you find the heaters. Right? These are the things that are on the tip of people's tongues. Boom. Let me apologize. I screwed up my my chart. I'm just gonna set it up real quick. That's such bullshit. Oof. Okay. Here we are. I don't want that. Pran. Climbing through the cloud. Now, I will say to you that it's trying, and it will probably succeed. But right now, we've got another candle here, kind of double toppy. Let's look at it. Remember, and who was it I said? And Nick, was that Nick in the PM? The chart, because people say, well, what time frames y'all trade on? And I understand that. What time frames you trade on? All. I trade on all because I'm just trying to get the whole picture of what's going on. And I think that's the mistake a lot of people make. But like when I started out, they were saying, well, use different time frames to decide how long you want to trade it. Well, what if it's dope as hell? I can only choose to trade it over 30 minutes or 5 minutes? Can I see the big picture and then make a decision? Either, you know what? Hey. Can I load a chart? You know, like for instance here, this is a bag. But once upon a time, over the course of the day, let's say, what day is this? January 30th. But on January 30th, it looked kind of tight and it was moving, and I can't deny that it was moving. So my decision to trade on a 5-minute chart is based on the decision that this is ultimately a piece of shit. Yes? So when they were saying, because they're not helpful, even though I paid them an arm and a leg because they're not helpful, when they were saying, well, it depends on how long you want to hold it. How do I determine this? Big picture, little picture, small picture. How long am I going to hold it? This is a turd. I'm going to hold it for 1 hour. Or in the case of Pran, I'm doing all the different looks, and this looks like it's getting stronger here. I'm going to hold it for a couple days. That's how you make such determinations. And your question, Nick, was a fair question. I mean, it's one that I asked, and I got 68,000 different answers. That's the answer. I need that global view to decide how regional I want to get with my trades. Prana here is trying with this cloud. And yes, it has volume, but it doesn't have a ton. But it's moving regardless. And this is why we zoomed in, right? Because here's today, boom. And you know what? That little shot at the end of the day, that could have just been continuation. It's funny how it seems to keep falling flat, though, isn't it? Like after all that volume, after all that, we're still here. Can I see this? Thanks. After all that volume, we're still doing this? It's kind of frustrating, although it hasn't fallen below. So you want to talk about a support. It might be worth trying at this 157 support to see if there's continuation. And the KST offers you the belief that even in the lack of volume, it's gaining power on the 30-minute. So would it be crazy to take it on that 157? I don't think so. Half of trading is trying. You know, 157 to 142, if you're not oversizing, is not a huge loss. So I just set it for this. And if it went below this, it's cooked. Otherwise, maybe it's worth a shot. Pran. I'm really dry today, so I apologize for that. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is this isn't exactly the king of excitement here. So don't be surprised if you get frustrated by Pran. But it's a nice setup, and there's a good potential there bouncing off this support. MTSL. I believe MTSL, if I'm right, is what's your life worth? What's your time worth? All month, 1 month for 176 to 2. This keeps on chugging though, doesn't it? Every candle brings a retraction though. 201 to 186, 207 to 191. I'll wait. Too slow. This looks like agony. And the thing you're probably thinking, well, Disney was slow. Well, this is slow. Well, that's slow. Ain't that slow. It isn't that slow. I don't have to. I don't have to. I'm fine. I've got the money here in my pocket. They don't need to get it from me. Yeah. I know, but I know I know what you're saying. And they diluted the ever-loving S out of it. Where's the dilution now? Why didn't it go right back to 173 after this run if it was so heavily diluted? They stopped. They turned off the tap. Whoop, 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 whoop. See it? This much price action gives me this, and then this much keeps me up here. This will ultimately be a massive disappointment to anyone that holds it. That's for sure. How's it moving like that on such low volume, though? I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to pick it up here. Because this is like the inverse. Right? Booming up, tiny relief dump, and booming back up. Now booming down, tiny relief bounce, and booming back down. It's just curious to me how it's able to move up again on such low volume. I don't know if I don't believe I have to. But is there any reason for this volume the last 2 days, or is this being loaded up? How's the share structure on that? That's thin as hell. Yeah, it sure is. I can't see anything outside of it being a low floater. This could have just been a low float pump, like you said. And now the volume that popped it is gone. You might get away with it. Honestly, Vegas, you might get away with this one. $8. You might get away with SAEX. Truth be told, I think you might. But this is a weak bounce right here. But it just seems to me, to my eye, this shit's continuing in a low volume state, which is surprising. I'm not sure I'm ready to buy. Like if this bounce was here, I'd say, all right, it's getting locked up. But this is, maybe just a low. I don't want this. A low float relief bounce. So interesting. Might be good. I mean, I would look for that 490 break, and then I'd say, you know what, there was really something going on here. And it is thin, so it can really rock, but I'm not compelled. Other than the share structure, I'm not compelled. I like compelling catalyst plus good share structure. Double whammy. That's what I like. This also looks like a bag. Just like SAEX, like I mean, it's good and it's done well, and Lord knows, I wish I had it when it was OG MBOT. Share structure is just phenomenal. Right, and then they had the registered offering direct price at the market on the 23rd that shot it up, and it was nice. But now what? Because this to me seemed like a low rent reversal bounce on something that got pumped, and I mean, you know how it is with baggies. You know how it is with baggies. They're the glass ceiling that I just can't break through. They're waiting all the way up to 20 to get out even. Hard work. It's going to take more than registered direct offering. I don't have to. CCCL China pump. I'm sorry, hate it or love it. This China pump doesn't want to give up. This China pump is wants to let you know. Nah. Wants to let you know that it is interested in human rights. But in all seriousness, this is maintaining some levels right here, but the volume is dropping. And there's one thing I know. There's one thing I know about KST is that shit rarely defies gravity. It's going to take a lot more than 1/3 of or 1/4 of the volume it took when it got pumped at the end of December to move this baby. Bag. Do you see it? How's this going to bring that when this brought that? These people, what do you mean, you people? These people, they're going to get bored of this pretty quick. It's been a month now. Yes? Next. VT. This was the one. This thing rocked. And I'm just trying to remember. Shit on me. Right. What was the ultimate catalyst? I thought it was some type of merger or something. VT. On the 31st. Right. It was because they did the offering way higher than the current price per share. 183 at the end of the year. And it was pretty good setup. And the share structure at 287 was dynamite. It was fine. It was pretty good. I'm going to be real with you. This did not come down since that move. Like, oh, that's fine. Thank you. Like, if this was like that, I'd be like, all right, I don't want a 13D. Okay. I'd be like, hey, They're getting tired of this, and this is baggy. But it's not that, is it? It's just getting locked up and going higher, it seems. VTVT, could I have 282? I'll give it a shot at 282. Stop loss. $253. I'll try it at the top of the cloud here on the daily, and stop loss at the bottom of that shit ass candle. But to see it continue and churn up towards a cloud break there, pretty impressive. That's a low volume consolidation of interest as opposed to disinterest. That's quite nice. Technically, oh my goodness, get out. Technically, it's a wedge. Oh my God, help me. Because the reason I'm being painful here is because I have the watch list saved. Technically, it's more of a wedge than it is a pennant. But this last little bit of action here, where we see that consolidation, like they're picking it up here. Boom, 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 boom. But when it's a wedge as opposed to a pennant, if it breaks down through it to the downside, that's it. So if it squirts out the top, that's fantastic. But 254 would be where I just cut it. But that, and don't let anyone tell you a wedge is good. It's generally not good. And just so you can see it, a rising wedge even on an upward chart, kind of sucks. It's not a yeah, it is actually a perfect wedge. I don't want that. Oh, for the love of God. God help me. Lord, give me strength. Just wedgie. Not great. And the last time it presented us a rising wedge, it broke down. So it's a maybe for me. And I just keep a tight stop on that. 254. For the sake of losing 30 cents per share, if you don't go in too heavy, it's worth a shot. But it's presented us this pattern before. Yeah, an ascending triangle is, in my opinion, a bear. The flat top. What do they call that? Flat top breakout? Yeah. Ascending triangle's bullish. But then the wedge. And you could argue this is more an ascending triangle. It just, I don't know. No, no, no. Listen, like it's worth mentioning. Yeah, no, please. I don't know. I'm not trying, because the thing about charts is that anyone can interpret them any way they want, especially if they're baggy. Um, but do you see what I'm saying here? There's something about this pattern that seems to actually show a pattern of pumping. Um, um, Let me just throw some comments on this. Yeah, I don't. Oh, my apologies. I screwed that up. I don't have to. One more time. There you go. Good times. We're all having fun here. That's the deal. I'll print you a signed MNGA chart, but I don't have to on it. I don't have to. We've saw it do this before and it sucked. How about this? 75 monster run. 107 big run. Wait. Hold on. I'll do it. I'll do it with you. 1.07. I don't want that. 1.07 minus 0.75 equals 0.32. One 1.07 plus 0.32 equals 139. Since this is like clockwork anyway, so far. Boy, it's weak now. You can see the weakness there. Like, that's how it functioned the first time. $139. 226 isn't bad though. VTVT, I'll take it at 139. In the future. I don't like it. But this is how you can really start to begin to look at the trends. The chart is your friend historically. And that's what it is. But the reason I want to try it is because it's breaking out of this cloud and this KST may be crossing, so I'm willing to try it. 282 entry to see if it continues off of this. But I'm ready to burn it if this happens again. Half of trading is trying. And sometimes you got to try. Get yourself in position to win and know when you've lost. Accept it. But give it a shot. Accepting the end. It's tough. It's tough to accept your baggy. Taken me a long time, but deep in your heart, deep down, you know. That shit ain't moving. No one's buying it. Craig stinks. Until it doesn't. This has been nice. Slow as hell. Bag. Shit on me. Nice. Bag. As we move our way down the road of share structure, we meet more and more bags. We got a ton of tickers to go through. I don't think I can go through them all that fast. But we're only going through the first few pages to look at the share structure. And we're going to focus on these charts. I hated people that said they only focus on charts. And if you know me in the OTC, if you know me on the OTC, you know that it's a lot more than charts and share structure. There is so much nuance. It is painful. But on the big board, you can actually get focused on trends and share structure together without getting necessarily into all the DD. Now let's look at a pennant Can I do it? Pennant is where you get that flat bottom. And you see people are getting a little bit loose with pennant. but it's where you get that nice, in my opinion, flat bottom where the market will not. They all agree that 181 is where they're going to take it. That's it. BIOC ready for more. Where will I take it? I'll take it right here. Sub 2 would be dynamite. Yeah, the KST's breaking down. What the hell is this? Ah. And you see it's just zoomed in on my pennant. KST's breaking down on the daily, but on the 30 it shows you a closer look. That's something that might just squeak out of the end there. BIOC, I like it. Sub 2. Where would I burn it? 161. It's a big, that stop loss is a big gap. So let's tighten it up a little bit. 173. They don't want it below. They don't accept it below here. They'll take it here all day long. I like that. God, it's painful. Craig 108. Short leash. Broke through that though. Craig 108. Honestly, 108, I'd take it. 102, I'd burn it. Because it ultimately sucks. But it's been a long time coming for this bounce. And 108, take it. 102, done. Target price, shit. $150. $150 with a 102 burn. Could be nice upside there for sure. But it's going to chill out a little bit. 108 be fine. But it's just nasty. Like, that's the thing, right? We know this is nasty. This been nasty. So suddenly it's not? No, it's still nasty. And that's why every bounce, bing, hits that last support before it shit the bed. Bing. Bing. And even that's aggressive. This could be it. 108 to 133 is the safe trade. Home run target 152. Right? You feel me. These charts, they're so good. They're so good. Because, I mean, what's really the DD on Craig? Chinese thing? Like, what is there outside of Craig other than Chinese thing? I mean, it's been around forever. We know the deal. AWSM, nice continuation. Looking toppy here, though. Tried again, didn't continue. I'll pass for now. EYEN. There's one thing I know, and it isn't much. You don't argue with volume. You really don't. Like, if this was just a whole host of there was just a ton of volume here. And then it had a big spike here on price. But like, look at this. Is anyone in? Is anything popping with this? Do you know anything about this, guys? Or should we go 0 to hero on the old DD there? I'm just looking to pull up some info. Not seen it. Well, let's take a look. I was just searching for the ticker elsewhere to see what's going on. Not bad. There any news here? Midriasis. So we're into biotech turds, but that's okay. I don't like shelf offering. They had the conference call on the 30th. So that was the day of the call. And it never really fell off, did it? I think the test with the call is, after the call, did it shit the bed? Yeah, pretty much. There's been a relief bounce here on no volume. So I'm not seeing continuation here. Maybe I'm wrong. I would just wait for the KST to reset, but that doesn't look great to me. And that's the beauty of zooming in. That's the power of it. Back. PYDS, good God. Just keeps on keeping on, doesn't it? Good gracious. There it is. Then right out. And boom. I'm hoping it'll cool off again. We finally got across. But it was at the end of the day. You know how people whack stuff at the end of the day. I don't even know. I don't know at this point. Like if I had to enter it now, I don't know. Because like there was no weakness here. There was one dip and then boom, and now we've got two kind of weak moments. People got to take profits at some point. I'll look at it. People got to take profits at some point, though. 272 maybe for a bounce off that. I can't with that. I just missed it. I gotta, what am I gonna do? Nice. What's that BTG? We'll take a look at it. Longevity. Hmm. 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 Oh, just gaining strength for another leg. Longevity wants it. I'll take it now. I'll try it. Might be getting a little weak here. Triple top. Bing, bing, bing. Double at least. I'm just going to try it. Entry. Anywhere 750. The 750s would be super nice. And I'd cut it 736. Because it just kind of broke down, But that daily. Gaining strength to my eye. Now Vegas. That's not it. After spending time in Canada, how pumpy Canadian mining tickers are. They're the ultimate pump. Every Canadian asshole know's got a mining ticker. Except for me. And my question is, it's more Western Canadian thing. Every guy in Vancouver or Calgary's got a mining ticker or an oil ticker that his buddy's in. It's a whole thing. I mean, it's been moving for sure, but we've seen it before for many years. And this, you know what? Give me a 350 break. Maybe I'll look at it. Give me a real talk. Like you want to actually tell me something. Give me a 366 break and I'll believe it. Until then, I mean, it's the same story with this thing. Every year. perennial disappointment. No, annual disappointment. The best thing is if I go to another ticker, like let's say I just go to this ticker, right? And then I go to BTG. If I'm using TradingView, it will remind me that I don't have to. So over the course of the day, if people are calling out runners, I can jump into the chart and remind myself that in fact, no, I don't have to. Do a couple more and then I gotta go. Z-Sand bag. Bag. Nice, but bag right now. We just gotta wait. JT. Fang, huge bag. Fick. Bag. Z-Sand. Every time I turn around, Z-Sand runner, bro. Z-Sand runner, bro. I don't see it. Bag. Huge bag. Bag, that's a bag. Huge bag there. Bag. That's a bag. OCX going to be a bag for a little bit. Got to relax. Nice move, though. That's a bag. That is a bag. Huge bag there. Boom! What is this? Now we're talking. I can't do that, I guess, huh? I can't do that? Can I do it now? Sure. Oh God, what happened? Ah. I'll take it here. I'll take it here now. And then I'll see what happens. Based on the trend, the historical trend, yes. I want my lines back right now. This is just on a huge ass dip. And the last time it did a dip like that, it had a hell of a recovery. So you know what? I'll try this out. It might be a longer swing type thing. But this fell off a cliff unfairly. Unless there's some type of news like a failed trial or something like that, we might be grabbing a dip. Yeah, it could be nice. It could get painful. Basically, I pick it up here and see what happens. And then if it breaks below this point, this 444, until then, I'm going to just keep on trying, keep on holding. 444, I'm done. I don't have to. But Outside of that, like, we may just recover the whole thing. And Lord knows, based on the speed of which it went down, there's people chasing that to fill that. So you know what? Let's give it a rip. I'll do it. Well, let's go. Let's jump on the Discord. We'll have a brief conversation. Any questions you got? Anything that's on your mind? I hope today was helpful. I love it. So, I mean, I could go all night, and Lord knows people would like me to stop. Yeah, practice your half and halves too, you know? Practice that half and half entry. It's really worthwhile, whether you're doing a day trade or a swing trade. You want in, cool, but just half and half it. All right, I'll see you in the Discord. See ya.